Hello, everyone. Well, I'm going to take the opportunity in this video to show you the dog commission. Um, First and foremost, I did the dog over. I was not happy as an artist. I was not happy with my first dog. And dog memorials, I have a lot of respect for because my clients' emotions are tied to their fur baby. And if I'm going to give them a representation in figure form, it's never going to be 100% accurate, to the pictures that I see, but I have to give it my best work, my best shot. So I decided to redo the armature, redo the dog, and this is the best way to give my client the best work possible. Now, there's a number of different things. Here's the older model, okay? This never gets wasted. I can use this in a variety of ways. This figure, I can make a fantasy figure out of it, a fantasy creature, whatever. That could be something for the future. But one of the problems I had yesterday is that this armature broke. As I was clipping, I accidentally clipped the armature, and so it's broken in there. Now this clay is hard. Okay. Um, I don't feel comfortable giving something like that to my client. And also the fur patterns were not right. So I said, you know what, this is gonna stay for me. I'll just make something out of it, and I'll give my client something totally new, something that's more that's a lot better. The other problem I had is that my Avi's clay needs a lot of conditioning. It's been sitting in the jars for a while, and I mixed this with three kinds of clay, and usually my Avi's is nice and soft. It wasn't, and it was very hard to kind of get the right fur texture with the clay. So I mixed my green stuff with my Scopic clay, and this is a mixture I never go wrong with. And then I use my conditioner, and that's why the model looks so nice and oily. This will eventually go away. This is going to air dry. I don't need to bake it. And what I did is I started following the fur patterns. So all of these indentations that you see are the fur patterns that I see in the picture. And I blow up the picture, various sizes, on my computer, whatever. Um, and what I'm doing now in this version of the dog, and notice how much work I did in just 2 hours. I actually, it's better to restart the project when you don't feel right about it than to, give your client something that's just not right. Okay, so what I did, these are all the fur patterns. These are not muscle patterns. If they were muscle patterns, they would be a little bit different. Um, this is fur patterns on the dog, and now I have to go back and do all of the little fur indentations so that it is clear that these are fur patterns. And I did a little bit of work here in the back, and this clay is it feels a lot better. Okay. The way I achieve this is I make what I call the blobby stage, just add little blobs in the patterns that I see. And then I use my ball tool of various sizes, and I go ahead and I blend everything in. And, I use my smaller ball tools to get into these tight areas. And then for the legs are very tricky. One of the problems that I had in the old sculpture, notice how when you're doing the legs on an armature, first of all, I like to file the wire. Even if I'm using these things as anchors, I file the wire. Okay, this creates a lot of roughness on the wire, and that's what you need to stick that clay. And then very patiently take tiny, tiny balls of clay and attach them to the armature. For any of you that are would-be crafters, they want to kind of use this as an idea for your own pieces. Patience is the best thing in sculpting, and this may take you a lot longer, but you're going to build something that's a lot stronger. When you add big globs of clay just to finish the leg, what happens is air pockets build up in there. And in time, no matter how strong that resin clay is, or Sculpey clay is, it's going to cause cracks. So you want to make sure that you really attach your clay to that armature, working in very small, see, little blobs of clay, and then kind of blend everything together. What's going to happen is that's going to be nice and strong, and as you work on the outer sort of clay layers, you can get a little bigger, okay, because green stuff likes to stick with green stuff. So, and again, notice how small I'm going with these blobs. And it allows you to really shape your clay better as well. So right now, I'm not looking at the pictures of the dog. I'm just kind of filling in the armature. And then before I stop work on this today, I'm just going to do some of the fur texture. Once this dries up, it's going to be rock hard. I'm not going to be able to do anything with it. So I want to make sure that while it's soft, I have all of the indentations, all of the things that I want, you know, in the clay before I stop. Now, I don't have to fur texture the whole thing. I can leave some areas smooth because I can actually add a very thin layer of green stuff and sculpt some extra fur. This dog had very interesting patterns of fur. They were like long in some areas, curly in some areas, especially around the ears, fluffy around the tail. So there's, you know, there's a lot of ways to represent that with clay, and green stuff, resin clay, is the best kind of clay I find to represent those kinds of fluffy, curly areas of the fur. So again, notice I'm using very tiny amounts of clay and just sticking it in to my armature. That's going to prevent any air pockets. It's better to do it this way, nice and slow, and to make something that will last for my client. Respect is something, you know, respect for fur babies. I lost my fur baby last year as well, my Sierra. You know, I really kind of put my in place of the client, and just want to make sure that we give the client, you know, the best possible representation, and it's never going to be 100%.